Boom, hey internets. I keep a graphic archive of all of the graphics I've done with my clothing brand so I can have a visual aesthetic history of where we've been and where we're going. And it makes it a lot easier when I'm dealing with freelancers. So let me get into the details of this right now. Hey internets. Jon Phenom, clothing brand mentor, over 23 years in the fashion industry, last several jobs being a creative director. I was having a conversation with a good colleague of mine, and he was talking about how I deal with my designers and how I organize my design. Now, coming from being a designer, having been the person that sits in the chair behind Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop for 8 hours a day, literally building the lines and the graphics and then organizing the lines and the graphics in the same programs, I definitely earned my time in the trenches. Nowadays, as I'm running NONBETA Co., I'm very much playing the role of an operator, and I talk about this on my channel a lot. You do not need to be a designer. You don't even need a history in understanding apparel and tailorship or mass production like I do. Many people who have been successful in the last 5 years and beyond are merely good operators of the brand, and that's the role that I play. Even though I could do that role, the best usage of my time is operating the brand, and that also means that I'm managing freelance for graphic design. Now, chances are your brand is starting graphics heavy with t-shirts and fleece, whether you're using screen printing, DTF, or transfers, like I use transfers with Supercolor, and apply a lot of those graphics with some of my presses from Heat Press Nation. Now, when I'm approaching a new drop, I'm thinking of where we've been visually and understanding new trends that are coming in and new looks that I want to put out there with the brand, right? I'm also thinking season somewhat, whether it's summer versus winter, but that's less of a thought rather than what graphics I want to put out there, what kind of look and aesthetic I want to redefine the brand with. And so to do that, quite simply, I have a file on Adobe Illustrator, and it is literally an archive of every single graphic we've done. Now, not all of the graphics get on here. If it's very simplistic, if it's just really like font play, then I don't include it. But if it's something that is font play that I might be able to use again and again, then I'll keep it on there. And you can see with some of these, I'll have a live version and I'll have an outline version. So if it denotes that it's live, it means it's in a live font, so it can be selected and changed and manipulated. And if it's not, that means it's already been changed to outlines, meaning that font has been changed into a shape. Or if it's a stroke, it's been changed into a shape. So just from the quick glance at my screen, at my actual archive for NONBETA, it gives you a more specific idea of what the looks of the brand have been. Now, some of this could be used with labels. Some of these aren't necessarily t-shirt graphics, but they're just graphics that a designer can then take and use for a basis and also inspiration. So foundation and inspiration, they could take these graphics and it helps them understand where we've been. So in a practical sense, if I bring in a new designer and I send this as one of the files along with any kind of image reference files of new looks that I want to develop, this will, one, show them where we've been already visually, but number two, they can use and repurpose some of these graphics, which I want them to be able to do, because we're going to pay by the graphic, but that designer is going to work by the hour. So for me, I like to have all of my reference tools and items, not just the logo, right? I would like all the reference tools and reference files so I could begin working. And if I, as a designer, got an archive file like this where I can see what graphics have been created maybe by other designers, or what you've used, or what is a popular set of logos or iconography that you use, this would help my path tremendously in making the new looks that you want to see for your brand. Also, quick note, in Canva, I like to have the PNG version of all of these put into one massive folder, so I always have access to these looks in case I need to create any kind of media through Canva, whether that's a carousel post or a mock-up or add it to a visual line plan. All of these things I could use in Canva, or my VA team can use in Canva for anything in the future. So just a quick tip for best practice for you and your clothing brand. This is also a part of the launch, which is a course, a series that I have on CBA. So for this, this and a lot more detail on other best practices on how I'm actually launching my brand NONBETA, hit that link below. It's at clothingbrandacademy.com. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.